Have you ever been in a Southeast Asian rainforest at night? If you have, you've almost certainly heard it. This loud, unmistakable call, Tokay, Tokay. Well, today we're going to meet the incredible creature behind that sound, the Tokay Gecko. And trust me, its voice is just the very beginning of what makes this lizard so amazing. Yep, you guessed it. The answer is the Tokay Gecko. This lizard seems to have collected a whole bag of evolutionary tricks. I mean, from its famous self-announcing call to its unbelievable climbing skills, we are about to dive into the many secrets of this colorful and seriously cool creature.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're in the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia. As the sun goes down, our gecko, a nocturnal and arboreal animal, is just starting its day. It's perfectly built for a life spent up in the trees and on cliffs, and as we'll see, often right alongside our own homes.
So let's get a closer look at the gecko itself. First off, this thing is a giant in the gecko world, one of the biggest species out there. And its vibrant skin, it's not static. It can actually shift its colors to blend in. But you know, this is where things get really weird. Its eyelids are transparent, and they're permanently shut, and it even has this light-sensing third eye on top of its head to detect changes in daylight. And if you thought that was strange, how about this? The ear holes on the sides of the Tokay's head are so perfectly aligned that you can literally look clean through one and see daylight out the other side. No joke. It's just one of those wild, unbelievable facts of biology. So, all of these unique traits come together to make the Tokay an incredibly effective predator. As a nocturnal hunter, it does its best work in the dark. But here's the thing. It doesn't really chase its prey. Oh no. Instead, it has perfected the art of the ambush. And the process is just brutally efficient. The gecko finds a good spot, stays completely motionless, and then it puts its incredible senses to work. It flicks its tongue out to literally taste the air, picking up scent particles. Those particles are sent to a special sensory organ in the roof of its mouth called the Jacobson's organ, which gives its brain this super detailed chemical map of what's nearby. And when prey wanders a little too close, bam, it's over in an instant. So what exactly is on the menu? Well, mostly insects. They are fantastic pest controllers. They just devour cockroaches and locusts. But remember, this is one of the largest geckos, so their diet isn't limited. They'll also take down small mammals, snakes, and even baby birds if they get the chance. Okay, so being a successful hunter is one thing, but avoiding becoming prey is a whole other game. And the Tokay is an absolute master of survival, equipped with a whole range of both offensive and defensive tactics. You can really see the balance in its strategy right here. On offense, it is fiercely territorial and has a surprisingly powerful, painful bite. But on defense, it's an expert at just disappearing. It uses these neat skin folds to break up its outline and eliminate its own shadow. It makes these threatening hissing sounds, and of course, it's got that famous lizard trick up its sleeve. And that trick is called autonomy, the ability to just drop its tail. When a predator grabs it, the tail just breaks off and keeps thrashing around like crazy for several minutes. It creates the perfect distraction for the gecko to make a run for it. And the best part? In just 3 weeks, it can grow a whole new one. Incredible. But for all its tricks, maybe its most famous survival tool is its gravity-defying grip. I mean, the gecko's ability to stick to pretty much any surface, including sheer glass, has fascinated scientists for decades. It is a real-life superpower. So, how does it work? Well, the secret is in these millions of microscopic hairs on its toes called setae. Each of these tiny little filaments splits into even smaller ends, creating a massive surface area. This allows for this amazing phenomenon called van der Waals forces. You can think of it like millions of tiny temporary magnets at the molecular level. It's not glue, it's pure physics. And it is the holy grail for engineers trying to copy it, a field we call biomimicry. And the density of these hairs is just mind-boggling. We're talking 5,000 of these setae packed into every single square millimeter of its toe pads. The combined sticking force is so powerful that a Tokay gecko's grip could theoretically support about 450 pounds. So you can see why scientists are so obsessed with cracking this code.
Okay, so let's get back to that sound. That loud, distinctive call that literally gives the gecko its name isn't just some random noise. Nope, that is the sound of a male looking for a mate. That Tokay, Tokay bark is basically the starting pistol for the reproductive cycle.
The breeding season goes on for months,
and females will lay 2 sticky, hard-shelled eggs about once a month. Now, what's really fascinating here is that both parents will often guard the eggs together until they hatch, and when the little hatchlings finally emerge, they are perfect, tiny replicas of their parents, right down to that famously aggressive attitude.
And this brings us to our final section, the Tokay's very complicated relationship with us. Because they thrive in man-made environments, our two species end up crossing paths all the time, for better and for worse.
Yeah, our relationship with them is complicated. In some cultures, they're actually welcomed into the home. They're seen as a sign of good luck, and hey, free pest control is always a plus. But on the other hand, their popularity in the pet trade has led to over-harvesting, and in places where they've been introduced, like in the US, they're considered an invasive species. Plus, as we've learned, they have quite a temper.
And this brings us to the biggest threat they face, by far. The global demand for tokays, driven by the pet trade and, frankly, unproven claims in traditional medicine, is taking a serious toll on their wild populations. This pressure has gotten so intense that several countries, like China, Vietnam, and Malaysia, now list them as a protected species.
And that really leaves us with a critical question, doesn't it? The Tokay gecko is a true master of survival, perfectly adapted to live in the wild and even in our own homes. But the greatest threat it faces might just be its own popularity. It can handle predators and rivals, sure, but can it handle us? It's definitely something to think about.